So we can't re-register your car until it's fixed per the ticket requirements. Like items had to be changed. And he's like, but there's nothing to be changed. Like, this is a stock car. Like, you're asking me to modify my car, which you guys don't like. Like you want me to modify my exhaust? I will happily modify my exhaust.
Weird. Hey guys, welcome back to Third Pedal Podcast. I'm Jacob.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Tyler.
Welcome back to the show. What a crazy couple weeks it's been. We had a clip a couple weeks ago that blew up a little bit more than some of the other stuff that we had out there. It was the Tyler the Creator clip talking about his car collection, which was cool because like we wanted to talk about that collection because it was like enthusiast driven. It wasn't like it wasn't like most rich people who go out and buy like a Ferrari or Lamborghini, stuff like that. Like he's got a very enthusiast driven, like Group B inspired car collection that we thought was really cool. And clearly you guys did too. It was really neat to see everybody like sharing and tagging their friends in it too. That's exactly what we want with this podcast, is just to reach more like-minded gearhead people. So that was really cool. But in addition to that, you guys gave us two repeated comments over and over. One was that we didn't talk about the E30, which P.S. we did. It's just in the actual video over on YouTube. So if you go to our YouTube channel, watch the clip for that. It's like 5 minutes long, but we talk a lot about the E30 because that thing is gorgeous. But then the other comment that we got repeatedly was other like, hey, why didn't you talk about this guy? Or hey, this other guy has a cool car collection. This guy's got a cooler car collection. And a lot of them I wasn't aware of. I don't know if you guys were aware of, but I haven't heard of most of these people, but I have not seen their cool car collection. So I'm glad that everybody commented them in. So I wanted to run through a couple of those real quick because I don't think you guys have seen these yet. I pulled some images, but have you guys looked into any of these guys?
No, I haven't. I haven't. I thought that was really, really cool. Like you said, I'm as much a fan of the hip hop as a lot of people are, I would think. I didn't know who several of these people were, or at least I heard their names, but I'm like, I don't really know what they do, or I didn't know that they were into these type of cars too. Because you're right. Normally it's you got your Lamborghini Huracan, you got your Rolls Royce Cullinan, like you got the Ghost probably. Those are like the top rappers, whatever. Like that's the dream car. That's the ones that they're rapping about and stuff like that.
Yes.
So I didn't know that there were that many other people. Like let's not leave out T-Pain either, right? But there were that many other people who had these like more classic like Group B rally cars. That's what we liked so much about Tyler the Creator's mix,
right?
And like drift cars and other stuff like that. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. So let me pull up my screen here real quick. So one that we got probably more than anyone else was this guy. His name's Snot, with a money sign.
Great name.
His collection came up the most. Yeah, which pretty awesome. So I went over to his Instagram. I checked out his stuff. So this was the first thing that I saw. So it was kind of cool. His was not like a crazy car collection. It seems like we're at the front half of it, unless I missed a bunch. I did a bunch of Googling. This is all I could find. But he's got this really, really clean E30. It's convertible.
That's nice, man.
Right now it's wrapped like this. It's wrapped matte green, which looks awesome. So in addition to this, I got to see if I go through these photos in the right order. So he just got this too. This was just posted not terribly long ago. But now he's got this. I think it's a GT3. Right. I could be wrong, but it's beautiful. So then he's got a picture of the two together in his garage. Like there you go. Yeah. GT3 RS. It's gorgeous. There's not many cars that I like silver, but that one just looks so good. But like it's cool to see these two cars parked next to each other as like his collection. What were you gonna say, Zach?
Yeah. No, I said Porsche can do it. Silver.
Yep. So he's got these, and then he's got one more vehicle that I love. Like I saw it was recently posted on his feed, and I'm just like, dude, I'm all about it. He got one of these.
No way.
Is that like an all-terrain crawler thing?
I don't remember what they're called, but they're super expensive. Go ahead, Tyler. You talk. Let me see if I can find.
Okay. Does he? Super random question. Does this guy live in Wisconsin? Because I was passed by a silver GT3, I think today, and I literally drive by a dealership that has one of those in its parking lot.
I'm gonna say no, but I don't know that for sure.
I think it's a 100% no. He does not live in Wisconsin.
It looks like
did anybody else just Google it? Anybody else listening to us, just Google where does snot live and get a YouTube video about your nose. The rapper.
No, here I have one other picture to
You
show you
forgot the dollar
guys.
sign.
That's funny.
Here's his oops, I lost my window. This is a picture from his Instagram as well. I've never seen so many of these in one place.
Oh, that's got to be edited, right?
It's got to be edited. It's just
Like, that's
awesome
got to be
to see, though.
photoshopped from or digitized or whatever from
Yes.
a music video or something. Yeah, he
It's
lives in
gotta
Florida,
be.
which is the most.
Okay.
That's the most Florida
okay.
rich guy car you can have.
Yeah,
Right?
never mind.
But these are.
I
Did
did
you
see
guys
it,
ever
but-
watch? Whistling Diesel has a whole video
Whoa.
about those things. I forget what they're called, but they're
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh,
they're expensive, but they're like a farm. They float. That's their big thing, is they can float with their wheels, so you can drive through the water with them.
Mhm.
But they're just like a little all-terrain vehicle. So anyway,
Just
so that was
crazy.
Snot's collection. I thought that was pretty cool. Just like
Little,
nothing super
yeah.
crazy. Like he's got the GT3, he's got the E30, and then this thing that looks like it may. I don't even know if it's his. It
Yep.
might just be for the music video and stuff. But that was pretty cool. So then we've got Xavier Wulf. This was another one that was commented a ton. His is super cool. So
Mhm.
huge BMW guy. And he participates in
Ooh.
Grid Life regularly, which looks pretty cool. So let me pull up his. We're just gonna scroll right through his
Oh.
Instagram because he had way too much that I didn't want to.
That's a
I don't
drift
wanna have to
competition,
screenshot.
right? Or what is Grid Life?
So Grid Life is like, it's like a track day. It's like a whole weekend takeover kind of thing. So they do some drift stuff. They do like timed laps. It's just basically
Okay.
sounds like the dream of like a weekend car guy thing. We need to go to one, FYI.
yeah, right.
But
Sounds awesome.
yeah.
so yeah, like going through his
100%.
stuff here, like he's got, this is a video here. Let's go to a picture. Oh, they're all videos. Great. So he's got a 240 that's like pretty set up.
Ooh.
I just see your desktop screen.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Just so you know.
Oh, am I sharing the wrong screen? That's funny. Hold on.
The
Yeah.
mountains look great though.
Oh, thank you. Oh, that's what I did. Funny.
Technical
Okay. Well,
difficulties.
this is going to be way better then. Okay. Here we go.
So Tyler fake reacted. Is that what we just learned?
No.
Yeah,
No.
that's so
I heard
funny.
him say he's got a 240, and I was like, "Ooh, that's cool."
Yeah, I know.
Tyler's like,
Ooh,
wow,
come on, man.
wow. All right, here we go. You guys can see this now, right?
You're like, wow, I love how the car looks. Yeah, I can see it. It's up on Instagram.
Yes. Okay, so this is this is the video that Tyler Blind reacted to just now.
Literally. Wow, that's set up, huh?
Dang.
Yeah. So
So
yeah,
that's
this
a
is his.
S13. Is it a notchback or is it a hatchback?
He has more photos in here. Here, let's go to this guy here.
Ooh. Oh, I saw that comment. Did he comment that it's a KA, not an SR? That's kind of interesting.
Yes.
Ooh.
But yeah,
That
this
looks so
thing
nice.
is
I super like the
Like,
I like just the
set up
steel tube
very
bumper.
nice. Right? Look at the inside of this
Yeah.
thing.
So
Yeah.
that's a KA24 DET with a big turbo.
Dude, this is nice.
Oh yeah, here you go. Here's the
That's
back
like
end of
set
it.
up. Oh yeah, classic liftback. Wait, so it must have been. Let's see. Was it a
I love it.
convertible converted, or did he just button up the rear windows and then do plexiglass
good
for the
question.
back? Maybe because it's a drift car.
I don't know.
think that wasn't. I don't think that was a convertible. The
Jeez.
top, the
Oh
roof
no,
does
it's
not.
definitely
look
got the hatch still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I love so those are like imported Japanese taillights. Those are super desirable, probably very expensive.
Right? It looks. It
very,
kind of
very
looks like an
cool.
Integra
I'm very
from the
into
back.
these cars.
Yeah.
So then-
Don't you dare say that.
He actually has a music video. Oh shoot, what's the name of this one? I gotta find it. Hold on, because this is a shoot from a music video he has, and it's his 3 BMWs at a gas station, and I think it's called
That's
Cars and
awesome.
Coffee. Yeah, it's
Dude,
called
What
Cars
does he
and
have?
Coffee.
F90?
Dude.
So he's
That's
got 3
awesome.
I approve
M3s.
of
If I
every
could go in here
BMW.
further,
Yeah.
yeah. He's got a picture of all 3 next to each other in here in a second. But yeah, here's
He
another clip
picked
of his. He's got
awesome
his E46. His E46 has
Yeah.
actually been to the Hoonigan Burn Yard, which is pretty sweet.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
There's
no
way.
him
kidding.
there.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So like
Wow.
he's in
That's
it. Like
awesome.
he's into
Oh, I
the
think
car
I
stuff,
remember
which
that
is cool.
one.
I haven't seen
That's
this one.
sweet.
Yeah, he's got the wide body, and then this. I think you said it's an F90, Zach.
Yeah.
I think it's an F90. I don't know my Beamer
Okay.
models too closely, so
Yeah,
I
I'm
believe
not,
you're right.
I'm not
correct me
great
if I'm
with them.
wrong, right, Beamer guys? But I think it's an F90. And then
They're too busy in the
E46,
garage
did I see
fixing
a
their
yellow
car.
E36? Yeah, right. You correct me, but your axle's blue again.
That's a
Or
callback.
what is it? What's the most common thing? The rear main seal. Isn't that a big thing on these?
Whoa, look at this exhaust setup.
Wow.
Oh,
Ooh.
geez, the $15,000 exhaust.
Yep, that'll do it. I feel like you got hosed on that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's not great. Where is
Unless
he's got a
it might
picture
be-
of all of
It
them?
might be TIG welded titanium.
That looks pretty wild, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's his other one. Here's another picture of it. Just looks clean. Yeah, I don't know.
Ooh,
So he's
is that
got a
a
cool.
E36 sedan. Oh,
This looks so good.
yes.
Isn't that
The
beautiful?
holy grail of M3s. The E36
It's
sedan.
Oh, see,
Mm.
I think the E46 was probably like the peak M3, just because that was the first time I think that was the first engine ever to be a naturally aspirated 3-liter to have over 300 horsepower. No turbos, nothing.
Interesting.
Sounds right.
No, I get what Zach's saying though. Like that's a pretty rare. that's a very enthusiast driven like version of an E36
totally.
M3 to have the sedan version.
Yeah. It's gorgeous too.
Yeah,
like
'cause
it looks incredible.
Well, hold on, Tyler. I'm going to call your bluff real quick.
Ooh.
The
Oh, boy.
E36 M3 had 321 horsepower. So the E36 wins.
Oh, wait. Was it NA?
And the E46 had 340 to 360. Probably depending on 333 is what the E46 had. Yeah, the E36 was naturally aspirated as well. They didn't make a turbo M3 until, they went to V8 first, right? And then they switched back to the twin turbo, or switched back, but then remade it with the twin turbo straight six, the B58, I think that one is.
Huh. That's interesting.
Hold on. I might have just given some. I might have just given some
feel like
false
you actually
information.
just lied to me because I just googled it.
Fake
It says
news.
286.
It's fake news. We found it on Google. It's incorrect. Well, 321. Here, I'm just gonna, for the peeps at home, just gonna go here. I did Google it, and the top answer says 321, but then the next word is petrol. So I think this was the Euro spec. The Euro spec had 321 horsepower from 95 to 98. So the facelift, M3 E36 had 321 horsepower. All right, sorry, we got off in the weeds on that. I apologize.
You're good.
Continue
So I
with
have
your-
I have one more to show, and it's kind of funny because it's also a BMW. I just realized, but this is the coolest. Might be the coolest BMW that we've shown on this show. You guys ready for this?
Let's go.
Oh,
I'm ready.
maybe
The Stingray,
maybe
As
not.
it'll ever be.
It's definitely the most unique. So this is.
Okay.
Once it loads here, I'll give it a second. Let me know when you guys can see this.
No.
What?
Yes,
An
sir.
E46.
So this,
I've never seen that before.
so this is obviously it's in Australia. This is pro golfer Stuart Appleby's custom E39 M5 Ute.
Oh,
So
an M5. Wow.
an actual M5. So he took an M5 and he had it custom
Wow.
built to be this weird, very, very weird truck car
Why?
combination. So like he shows it like in the shop. There it is. Here's it completely cut
Wow.
down. And so then he's got a pretty sick like rear suspension setup. Yeah, lots of why questions happen here. But like
Oh yeah, the suspension looks cool.
nuts. Yeah.
Ooh, wow. The body stiffening and everything.
Yeah. So
Along
like
the bed.
they
So it's not
definitely
just
did it.
Wow, so this is like
right.
custom.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, this is the interior of
Wow.
this thing. Looks beautiful. Of course, it's right-hand
Waiting
drive.
for it to load.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Okay.
Just a great, Tyler, I think you might be a little bit right on the E46 M3 as far as interior goes. Like, man, that dash, steering wheel, center console combo is just so clean.
Yeah.
Like it's so nice looking. Obviously, that's a Alcantara wrapped dash. I don't think that was standard
Right.
No.
with
Right.
46.
Looks
But
amazing.
it looks really, really nice with the buckets too. Yeah.
So that's this thing. So this
Beautiful.
was another cool like weird. It's this whole article starts going off on tangents about like, oh, this thing can hold more than just golf clubs.
I just want to
But the
go
one-
like this. Just like
I can't.
Yeah,
I can't
that's
see.
better.
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm just holding half my hand up to block the butt end of it. It's a really nice looking
Well,
M5.
The funny, so
But-
to close this one out, there was an actual funny fact about this one. So he built this custom ute. It's in Australia. He took an M5. He cuts it all down. He's a pro golfer, but when he golfs, he still puts his golf clubs in the passenger seat. He doesn't put them in the back.
What's the point?
What?
I don't know, dude. So that
Why did you
confused the
ruin
crap
a
out of me.
beautiful car like that then?
I know.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there you
That's
go.
funny.
So there's a few of the cars from the comment section. There was another one, a basketball player who has just like a weird collection. Like he has like a car from every decade. I'm gonna have to find more. I couldn't find all the. I wanted to find actual split out like
Weird
what are his
flex.
cars, what are the specs. But yeah, it was like he has like one from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and they're all like weird. Like one of them's a Grand National. Like not that that's like a unknown car, but it's kind of a weird car to have like just restored as like one piece of your car collection. But that's his like decade car from the 80s, but yeah, so it's pretty cool. So anyway, that's the some more celebrity
Grand
cars
National.
that you guys
Oh.
commented who had like legit like cool car collections, who didn't just go for the Aventador, didn't just go for the the stereotypical like supercars that people go for. But bought something a little bit more special because they obviously enjoy
right.
being behind the wheel a little bit more. So
Not that there's anything wrong with a sick Lamborghini or like that. I think it's kind of cool that more people are going towards Porsche. Not that like Porsche needs any more celebration for how awesome they are. Like they're like, yeah, we got it, guys. We know we're awesome.
right,
But
right,
it's pretty cool to see that other people take it rather than, like you said, rather than like another Lamborghini. As awesome as Lamborghinis are, like
yeah, nothing against them, but it
people
is
know,
cool
like,
to see
if
people
you got the money,
like,
the driver's car is a driver's car.
yeah, 100%. I mean, it's just cool for people to say like I mean, even this like E39 M5 guy, like he probably was somebody who just like he really liked the interior of an M5. He likes the engine. He liked that car, but he's like, man, I haven't seen like I could just go buy one of these weird truck car things, but like let's build one out of this dream car. Like he spent all this money to make that happen versus just going and
Yeah.
buying a truck and buying a car. I think that's really cool.
For sure. It's kind of cool
So-
to see some of that switch because I feel like the like older school and there's definitely some other like hip hop buffs that know way more than me about this stuff, but the older school, I think of like Jay-Z and like the guys of that era talking about the cars they'd buy. It was always like Maybach and Rolls and stuff like that. You know,
Mhm.
cars that you buy to not drive, cars that you buy to be driven in is like
Right.
what was idolized as like really, really cool. That's like the you
Yeah.
made it level. And it's really cool to see younger rappers, younger people reaching that level of fame and success that are going more for like the grassroots type of cars. Like, and
Right.
I think what is most interesting or why we find that as like car guys and a lot of the people that connected with that video we did about Tyler the Creator, like why people find that so interesting is those seem so much more attainable, right? Like
Right.
I have shopped for an E30, like an E30 convertible. A friend had one he was going to sell to me not that long ago. You know, like I've had an E36. You guys have both had E46s. Like that stuff doesn't seem that like crazy
Right.
unattainable. So it seems so much more relatable and so much more real than just like a Rolls Royce. Not that we're thinking like, oh, we'll never be able to buy one of those cars, but it just seems more real and like, oh, they're in there. Like maybe they're not turning wrenches. Maybe they are, but they're modifying them. They're making them unique. They're making them their own other than just, 22s and
Right.
a wrap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just-
Right. Well,
it's
like
kinda
to
cool.
see
I
to see
really appreciate seeing
Xavier's
that stuff.
Yeah, and like his like it looks like he's obviously making a bunch of money for his music, which is great, but like he's putting it into like building this crazy S13, something that all of us like can look to like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, he did the sweet intake, he did the cool front mount, he did the bumper setup, but then he's actually taking it out to
Yeah.
grid life events and
Yeah.
showing like, hey, I was excited to get behind the wheel. Hey, I wrecked my car, I'm building it back up. Hey, this happened. Like he's doing the regular car
Mhm.
guy stuff that I think makes it like because you can connect with somebody just for their music, but if you've got that interest or the other thing that helps you link up with them, I mean, the fact he even has that music video that he shot outside of a 7-Eleven with his 3 BMWs, and it's called Cars and Coffee, and it's all just rapping about stuff like that. Like I guess he's known for making a lot of like automotive references, so he
awesome.
uses like different car terms and stuff in his raps regularly. I didn't have any of them written down, but I listened to a couple of the songs, and you can tell like he references like chassis codes and stuff in songs, which is something that like no one else does, and probably nobody gets what he's doing. But like guys over here, like he'll say something about an E46, and like car guys are like, "Wait, what?" Like it's very cool. So
yeah.
It's
like,
neat.
I wanted to
It's
be
neat to find it out there.
14 since I was 14, and now I got it.
legit, like stuff like that. Like he's talking about stuff. It's just so funny.
Put a beat under that.
That's a short.
That's awesome. That's really
anyway,
cool.
That's what I got for you guys this week. So thank you everybody for interacting with that video. And
cool,
like a lot of people followed not only from TikTok, but you guys like went over to YouTube to watch the full clip. You watched the whole episode that's out there. And that's kind of a reminder too for people who are like listening from one network. Like we are in a lot of different places. So wherever you discover us, like keep looking. Like we got thirdpedalpodcast.com is like where you can find the hub for everything else.
There you go.
But yeah, it's really cool.
Where can they find out where we all are?
They just Google it. No, yeah, thirdpedalpodcast.com is going to be your central location for everything that we've got. But especially if you've made it this far into our long form episode and you want to follow it, you want to see more daily stuff, you want to see little clips here and there, follow us on TikTok, follow us on Instagram. We post, a lot more regularly shorter stuff on there, just things happening throughout the day, including some of your guys' stuff. So.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. And that brings up an interesting or important thing too. A lot of the comments on that video were, I don't know if they were like making fun of or whatever, but like, of course he has those cool cars. If I was rich, I would have this or I would have that. I think it'd be really interesting for you guys. Like we have all idolized or dreamed about certain cars. Like, and I know I've done this because it's in our group chat. I've been like, I saw this 240 rusted out shell. Hey, look, here's my shopping carts for everything I have to entirely rebuild the whole entire thing. And then I haven't done it yet. But if you guys saw that, connected with that video and thought, okay, that Lancia was sweet, that the Fiat was cool, his E30 is awesome. And you're like, if there was no budget in the world, this is a thought exercise I like to do a lot of times. But if money didn't exist, what car would you get and what would you do to it? Send that to us. That would be really interesting to talk about, and I would love to see that. Gives us new ideas too. Like there's some stuff people might have a car. Like Jake's got an old 944. If you guys haven't watched from the beginning, I've got a newer Audi S3. Tyler's got a Volkswagen Golf and another. I forget what the other one's called. Is it also
Jetta.
a Golf? The wagon, Jetta wagon. Like we've all got a variety of different cars, and like I think that'd be really interesting to hear from you guys. Like, hey, if there wasn't any budget in the world, like which car would you buy and what would you do to it? Because like the possibilities are endless. You could do so much. So
absolutely,
if you don't want to do that and you want to just go buy a new car that has like pops and bangs and stuff already installed, maybe you want to go over to Hyundai, get a Hyundai Elantra N. This is not an ad, but it is a really fantastic segue into the topic I want to talk about. And if you want to do that, if you're in California, be careful because it's a really interesting story. It's been making its rounds the last couple of weeks here. A California driver in his brand new Hyundai Elantra N, and I recently saw one of these for the first time in person, heard it for the first time in person. Really nice looking cars, really nice sounding cars. If you guys have never heard one, like either videos don't do it justice. Like you got to hear it in person. I know it's not that crazy of a car. We just talked about these really, really cool cars, and we talk about some like a few episodes back, like fastest cars and new supercars and all that. This is sort of a more basic, higher end model of a more basic car, but they're actually really fantastic cars from what I've read and seen and heard.
I've heard good things about them.
And Hyundai's doing some really cool stuff. Have you guys seen a couple of our past episodes with EV type of stuff, hybrid type of stuff? Really cool design. I don't know who they stole from what car manufacturer. Some new person just came out there and killed the game, but they're making some really cool looking cars, even their SUVs now too. And the Hyundai Elantra N comes with like a lot of modern sports cars, comes with a sport mode, comes with different modes. These are some of the few cars that still come in a manual transmission. And the Elantra N is one that also comes with a pops and bangs type of tune. I know it's kind of like
So crazy.
silly thing, maybe more back in the day, and it's becoming a little bit more regular. I personally have it. It's awesome. I love it. Not the Elantra, but the Pops and Bangs. And so this guy is like, awesome. I'm super happy. I got this Elantra. He's just driving it like regular. And if you're like most of us who have different tuning modes and stuff, you probably drive in sport mode a lot, like I do. And he gets pulled over and gets a huge ticket for having a modified car, driving specifically a modified exhaust with track mode. And he's like,
what?
I can just imagine you guys, if you can look up the video and watch the whole traffic stop. I know for whatever reason, those always get suggested to me. Maybe it's just because it's like car guy stuff. I always see them. I like going through them. Sometimes they're kind of funny, but he's just like so confused. He's like, and he what he said, which you probably shouldn't have. The guy was like, were you in track mode? And it's like, these don't really have track mode. There's a sport mode, which makes the suspension a little bit stiffer, I'd imagine. Gives the Pops and Bangs, maybe gives it a little more aggressive of a tune. And he just says, yeah, I was in track mode. And the guy's like, can't do that on the streets. You got to go get that removed. So he gets a ticket to get track mode and these track modifications removed from his car. And then in California, and I imagine it's the same in other states, like your registration is, I don't know if it's expired. They basically remove the registration. So it's illegal to drive this car on the street now. So he goes to Hyundai, takes his car in, and is like, hey guys, I got this fix-it ticket. Like you gotta remove the track mode. And they just look at him like, no track mode. It's like this car is stopped from the factory. Like we didn't you didn't even option it, bro. Like there's nothing done to this. So
that has to be the first time
like,
those words were ever said in a Hyundai dealer.
Like, okay, I know that. Yeah, right. I gotta have the track modes removed. Yeah, the Hyundai guys are just like, yes, mission accomplished. We're cool. So he gets his write up from the Hyundai dealership and goes to the California Inspection Agency, I believe it's called. I'm sorry to remember. Check out the dealership. Yeah, California Inspection Station. So where they inspect the cars and then issue registration. So he took it there to re-register it, and they said, "Well, this it doesn't show that they fixed anything, so we can't re-register your car until it's fixed per the ticket requirements. Like items had to be changed." And he's like, "But there's nothing to be changed. Like this is a stock car. Like you're asking me to modify my car, which you guys don't like." You know, like you want me to modify my exhaust? I will happily modify my exhaust.
Weird.
But so he's in this, and to my understanding, this is currently ongoing. Like he's currently not able to drive his car, and I believe I saw and now this is like hearsay, probably a lot of ways, but I believe the California inspection station basically said, "Well, you probably got to sue Hyundai then to get this taken care of because you're not allowed to drive that on our streets."
What?
And the difference in sound and everything is so minuscule to my thought. So, and it's mostly because he's backfiring. Now, maybe he was doing it a lot. Like I try to keep my car out of that mode if I'm driving like in residential areas or like in my neighborhood specifically. I don't want my neighbors all mad at me. Come on, I'm trying to be nice on the podcast. But most of the time, I'll try to keep it quiet if I feel like it needs to be quiet. So the California requirements are that a car's exhaust stays below 95 decibels, which is pretty loud, granted. But the Elantra N averages 98 in the sport mode and hits a peak at 102 due to the pops and bangs from the exhaust.
Wow.
So, which it makes sense. I mean, that loud, like pop, pop, pop,
Good
like
job,
it can
Hyundai.
be pretty aggressive. Even, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Sorry for you, whoever owns this car, but Hyundai, good work. You made a good car from the factory. So yeah. Anyways, he's in this. He's in this loop now of like going back to the dealership with another thing from California inspection. Like you need to remove this option from the car, and then them writing up a fix it thing like, hey, there's no way for us to modify this out. It comes with the car. I'd imagine, I mean, big picture, obviously it's possible to go into the computer and like remove that mode, but like they're not going to do that because then this guy isn't going to want this car.
That's
you know
crazy.
What I mean? Like they're not going to.
Yeah, like they're
like,
going to have to
the state of California
retune or
basically has to
reprogram the
confront
car.
Hyundai
That's nuts.
and tell them. Yeah, so state of California would
Yeah.
have to go up against Hyundai basically and say you guys can't sell these cars here. Is realistically what has to happen.
Right. That's
Big
where it
scale.
would
Like,
have to go.
you can't screw the customer over
Oh,
with like
oh,
you're allowed to sell these cars here and people are allowed to buy them here, but if they drive them in the right or wrong, I guess, state trooper sees them or hears them, then we're going to write them a irrefutable ticket that they'll never be able to fix. So they're
wait.
going to have an undrivable car, you know?
Yeah, I just thought of something though. I feel like this doesn't make sense. How is it that in California, where like a lot of like celebrities and rappers and people live, who afford like Lamborghinis and Ferraris and basically any car that will like blow your eardrums stock, how do all of those guys drive on the road without getting this like warning?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that I've always thought about that too, because you think about like the Hoonigan guys. I remember we talked about that a while ago. Like they're based out of California,
Yeah,
and they were doing like the burn yard stuff, like literally having people over in their crazy modified cars doing donuts. And I remember watching their videos, you know, ways back. They're always getting cops called on them and stuff because of the noise. So yeah, I don't know.
It comes
I don't
down to
know.
money and
it
lawyers.
seems like a lot of probably
maybe.
realistically,
Yeah.
it's got a lot to do with a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. So, good luck to this guy. If anybody knows him, I don't know if there's anything we can do to help.
Also,
but, you know,
also
I
If
would love to
anybody
see
guy-
some
can tag
updates.
him, if anybody knows who it
This
is,
guy might
tag,
have-
like it'd be great if we could hop in a conversation with him and talk to him about his whole deal. That would be interesting because
Yeah,
it
I'd
feels
love
like
to hear
this
about
is
how
not
he's
like
working
a
through the
super
process.
Yeah, and it's not like a totally isolated event because this is not. I mean, I'm shocked that it wasn't like a Dodge Red Key car that had this happen for the first time, and that it was a Hyundai. You know,
Right.
there's a lot of other cars that have
You mentioned that
crazy
too, Jake,
tunes
that
and crazy
people have been
stuff
stopped
in
with
there.
the Dodges.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there was this story. I didn't watch all of it. I just saw it was a snippet of like an interaction, and it was like essentially they were telling the guy that it was illegal to drive with the red key, but he could drive with the black key, kind of a thing. But like that's definitely not written anywhere.
Yeah.
But he was saying, well, that's a track only key, so you can't use that on the road because it enables blah blah blah, like whatever it was. But I don't remember all the specifics, but it was like that was the thing. Was he was saying, no, you can't use that key on the road. That's a track only key, but that's not really what the key is. The key is just a marketing strategy for them. But
Right.
like, it was just weird that like all these weird lines are now being drawn. It's like it's like car companies
Mhm.
understand exactly what people wanted out of cars in the first place, and so they're tuning and building cars for
Yeah.
car people. But then the law is like, wait, no, we said you can't do that, and then the factory's like, well. That's cool. Like, no,
Right.
it's fine. We put the cool exhaust on it from the factory and we have this mode or whatever. They're like, no, but
Yeah.
hold on, fix it ticket. And then the guy's like, what do you want me to do? It came from the factory that way. And they're like, do it anyway. Like it's very weird. We're going to start having reverse modification
Right.
companies that like build parts that detune cars to go back to like an early 2000s stock car because manufacturers are
So
building too
sad.
cool of cars now.
Yeah. Or they'll
Well, I
do
was-
like we've talked a lot about like tech involvement in cars. Like it's
Mhm.
very possible they could do a location based access. I mean, there's even like BMW who has like you got to pay monthly to have heated seats, even though they're installed in the car. Other companies do that too, not to just crap on BMW, but like you got to pay to have certain accessories that are already in the car. I know Ford does
Yeah.
that with almost all their new cars with remote start. Like every car can do it, but you got to pay
Yeah, my Subaru
to
is
have the
that way.
service to be able to access that remote start. Yeah. So
Oh,
I imagine they could do like that could be a skirt around the rules type of thing where they go, okay, we're going to make this car with track options. We now have to call it that. Thanks, California. But it's a location based access. So if you're like, say you're within, it'd have to be like within a certain distance of designated like track or whatever,
Mhm.
then you have access to these options, which would really suck. Obviously, tuners could figure that out in a heartbeat,
Right.
like
right.
they do with all cars, how to open up the engines and everything. But
Yeah.
from the factory, that might be a way to like skirt the rules, you know, to be able to still sell these cars that we want. And then might not even be a bad like, hey, we're allowing these options on tracks only. Also, like nudge, like you guys really should be only doing this stuff on tracks anyways.
Right.
You know,
That's
like
true.
that is kind of the safe way to
Yeah.
do things.
Remember
So,
we joked
I don't
about
know.
this
Maybe
way
that's a
back
skirt around
when
it for
when we
it at some
first
point,
talked
or-
about that Audi story. We talked about this because we had teased about that maybe they would start
Mhm.
doing geo-fenced things, like you could purchase a track day thing for the weekend and then have like certain things unlocked in your car. And we had teased about that, but it's kind of funny that like, I mean, that wasn't a year ago, but like all of a sudden now like it's becoming a weird reality of like factory cars are coming out supposedly modified and needing to have fix-it tickets done, but like they're all fine.
Right.
So what are you going to do? Are you going to geofence the activity? Are you going to change the law so that it doesn't require that? Like maybe it's time that the decibel limit's different, but I don't really see that changing. So like I don't really know. I don't know where you go from here when you have a completely factory car that's not even.
Or like, are we going to rope motorcycles into the decibel limits?
Well, right, and it's like, you know, it's
like
not even like he was driving something crazy.
Right. Like in all reality, it could have been a motorcycle cop on a Harley that's putting like 150 decibels out consistently.
Yeah.
That pulls this guy over for noise. Obviously, that wasn't the case here. I'm not saying that it was, but like that is like the reality that there's different standards for different vehicles, which I'm not saying that all bikes should have to be limited to a certain decibel either.
Yeah, the bike guys are like,
I think some of those rules got to be, just don't bring us into this. But I don't know. Something's got to change with that, I think, at some point. I've never personally ran into it. I know, like, we're in Wisconsin. I know there are definitely decibel limits for cars, and I think it has a little bit to do with how each area enforces those rules. Obviously, California, this isn't new news that they're very strict on car modification, sometimes selectively, and emission standards is really, I think, where that comes down from the top.
Yeah,
for enforcing some of those things. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how regulation changes surrounding this stuff as manufacturers are being more connected with their customers and what they actually want and putting those things into cars.
Yeah. It's definitely interesting. And like in the meantime, real quick, Tyler, and then go ahead and hop in. I was just going to say, in the meantime, it's like now we're in this weird middle ground where everybody, like, you can purchase cars like this. And again, it's not like you have to go out and buy a Ferrari or something to hit these decibel limits. Like, we're talking about just like an N series Hyundai. And so it's like, okay, if we're in this period where you can buy stuff like that, just be smart with it. Like, everybody, for the sake of car people everywhere, like, don't be bombing around city streets. Like Zach said, like, he doesn't do that in his neighborhood. He doesn't do that, whatever. You can go have fun with it. Go do it under bridges. Go do stuff like that. Don't abuse it, because then everybody will turn their head and be like, oh, hey, what are people doing with cars now? And then it'll ruin it for everybody. So don't turn this into the next car meet thing, and proceed with caution. Have fun with it, but don't be nuts.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree. 100%.
Yeah, I was just gonna a super quick comment that I just thought was kind of funny. This guy, like, almost unintentionally, like, found a loophole to California's like no mod rule, where it's like if the cars just come modded from the factory, then the cops tell you have to mod them. You're just like, hey.
It's like you guys have heard, I'm sure, like, oh, I bought it like this, like as an excuse for your tint or your headlights or your suspension or your wheels or your exhaust. Oh, so I bought it. And he's like, no, for real, this is how I bought it. And the officer's like, sure, yeah, that's how you bought it. Okay, buddy, go get those track mounts removed. He's like, no, dude, this, like, I'm being honest this time. Come on, man. Help me out here. I did actually buy it like this.
I like the hearsay too of like, you should just sue Hyundai. Maybe just do that. And you're like, what, dude?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah, I forgot I could actually do that. No, that's not how normal people work. All right, guys. Thanks for watching this week's episode. So good to hear about crazy stuff happening with California laws and people getting pulled over for modifications that they don't even have. And I completely forgot about what Jake talked about. Oh, other rappers' cars. Cool.
Wow.
With that, thank you. No, it was cool. I promise. I was listening, but it was kind of like a few episodes back where I totally spaced. Anyways, thank you all for connecting with us so much. The response has been amazing. Just seeing you guys like our stuff, comment on things, like more than just the numbers of that, like you telling us what you think and how you're feeling about different cars coming out, what you're doing with your cars is like personally what I love to see the most. We got a lot of people sending us stuff on social media, telling us what you're working on, even asking questions about what to do for this and that. So really, really cool. We love and appreciate this stuff all the time. So thanks all for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.